Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker, and today we are out on this lovely Kawasaki Z800 from Freeman Motorcycles. This is going to be another quick spin, which hilariously is both of the quick spins have been on Kawasaki's before. We'll stop out the road a bit and have a look, but this has a lot of nice bits on it, including GB racing bits, a Scorpion can, and if you've watched the channel for a long time you know I am a fan of Scorpion things. But without further ado, let's get out on the road and see what this thing has. Now, the interesting thing about this bike is I know nothing about it. I know it's a Kawasaki Z800, and everything else we kind of have to figure out as we go. One thing I do know is I do feel, I only rode it around from the back, I do feel I'm a little bit big for it. So if you've been considering one of these and you're a larger human, it might be the case that you'd be more comfortable on something just a little bigger. It's not like it's extraordinarily small, but it's just not, it's not spacious. It's not spacious. We'll say that much. Well, straight off the bat, this engine is butter smooth. that is very nice. Wing mirrors, can I see anything? Yeah, a little bit. So this is very much an instant first impressions video. I honestly, like I said, I have never ridden this bike before, ever. I actually take back what I said straight away off as not being comfortable for a big man or woman, or anything in between. Maybe it's something else wants to sit on here and ride it, like a bear. Bears are cute. That exhaust sounds phenomenal. Let's do a little brakey poo. Okay, the brakes aren't amazing, but they're not bad. I do think the rear brake is kind of awkward to get to, just a little bit. We can have a look at that when we stop. A little bit awkward to get to, say. Not bad though. Just scooting around here. Oh, honestly, off throttle, that exhaust sounds phenomenal. Now again, this doesn't have any fancy bits on it as far as I know. It is very much just a Kawasaki Z800. It has quite a nice power to it, but I mean, I actually haven't even revved this thing up yet, and I don't know where we're going to get to rev it up during the video, because like I said, it's my first time riding it, so I shall be being careful. Straight off the bat, all the bars, excuse me, the bars and everything, they seem very far away from me. Like, it's very much I am riding nothing. Actually, when you're looking in front of you, there's no bike. So if you're someone who rides like something like the CBF, for instance, you're used to having a bit of furniture in front of you, this is definitely different to that, but not in a bad way. It's just like it's weirdly like floating along on like a nimble carpet. What else do I like? To be honest, like I said before, when I did that Z1000 SX Kawasaki, the hand controls are quite nice. Again, they're simple. You know, you got your hazards, your lights, your indicators, horn, starter button, and kill switch over on the right. But what's nice about this one is they're both the same size, and you also have the pass button here as well for your main beam. Oh, look at that! Lovely, dirty, stony road. Safety. I like it. I like it a lot. On this bike, so let's have a look. There is 16,942 kilometers, which is nothing. Not very much mileage at all for a Kawasaki, and for an 800. Actually, it's not in modern bikes. It's not much anyway at all. This is a 2014, as far as I know. So 16,000 on a 2014 is really nothing. Oh yeah, it moves. Holy! I was not expecting that. When we stop, I'll grab the specs for this bike and see what it is, but I mean, it's got to be at least 120, 130 brake horsepower. It's quick. And what always kind of surprises me about Kawasaki, the Kawasaki's I've ridden, is, you know, they're revvy engines. I mean, this one redlines 12,000 RPM, but I mean, I'm at 5. And that's, you know, 5,000 revs to not even 10,000, and it just pulls super smooth. The Z900 RS was the same, you know what I mean? Lovely dirty road back there. The Z900 RS I rode was the same, and I mean, obviously the Z800, Z900, Z900 RS, they're very similar bikes in the engine department, say. Obviously they're very aesthetically different, and frame geometry different and all that stuff, so they will handle very differently. This does feel a lot more direct than the Z900 RS. This is a very pointy bike, very, very pointy bike, and that's probably because it does have quite a short wheelbase, which also obviously, you know, lends itself then to that feeling of no, you know, furniture in front of me and whatnot. I do think though, if it was between this and say a Z900 RS, and I'm not sure what the price difference is between them, I would still go for the Z900 RS. I think the seating position for a taller person on a Z900 RS is a bit more comfortable, and I think the bike itself just has a little bit more character to it, because it's you know, it's that look I like. It's that retro classic look I like. So if you're comparing these two, the Z800 and Z900 RS or whatever, I do think the Z900 RS would win out for me. But if you're comparing this to the Z1000 SX, unless you're doing like longer trips, I would probably pick this, to be honest. I really like this little bike. It's so zoomy. Zoomy is a good way to describe it. This is a zoomy bike, but it's comfortable. Anyway, so let's run through it. I think just a seat of my pants feel. I know honestly nothing about the Z800. It's never a bike I personally looked at. So comfort, it's good. The seat's actually comfortable, and when I first sat on here, it felt like it was going to be cramped, but it isn't. I was wrong. I sat on here and I was like, oh no, I'm going to be cramped up and I'm probably not going to like this too much, but it's lovely. I am right in under these tank cutouts here. My legs are nicely braced there, so like if you drive on, and when I see clear road, I'll brake. Here we are, it's clean. You know, when you pull the brakes, I'm braking hard there, and at no point do I feel like I'm going to move out of my seated position. It's actually really nice, very, very stable, comfortable seating position. And even though everything does seem to be like a mile beneath me, my arms aren't too straight. I'm nicely sat, and there's plenty of room to move around and still be in a comfortable area with all of the bars and stuff. So yeah, well impressed with that too. After about an hour on the bike, it is starting to get a little bit heavy on my wrists. I do think though that's because of how tall I am. I mean, an hour before you need to get off and take a little break is not the worst anyway, especially on the roads I was on. But something else to bear in mind, and it is all from the braking, because I think when you're taller, obviously it goes with being taller that you have a longer body. So when you're taller and when you're braking, obviously you have a longer body that's kind of falling down on top of the bars, and you know, that does kind of eventually tire out your wrists a bit, which seems to be the case now on this bike a little bit, that my wrists are getting a little tired. Like there today, I said, just look, which bike do you want me to take out? Because, you know, I didn't have a huge amount of time, the guys didn't have a huge amount of time, so I said, look, I'll take something for a quick spin, I'm down here anyway. And Tally said, well, sure, why not that one? And that's honestly how I came about this, because I will ride any bike, it doesn't matter what it is. Let's do the brakes a test here. Like I said, not the sharpest brakes I've ever felt. Now that could be age, it could be maybe they need new pads, but they're not the sharpest brakes I've ever felt. That said, they are lovely and progressive. So like, even here now on a fairly crappy road, you know, I'm pulling pretty hard. I mean, they stop you. And it could even be a case, you know, we're in January now, so this bike probably hasn't been ridden really in a few months, because it's Ireland. So maybe the brakes just need a little bit of waking up by someone like myself anyway. And the other thing to remember about this bike is, obviously I am a pretty large creature to be planting myself up on top of it. So, you know, if you're smaller, these brakes probably would work a little bit better. And I do think this bike is probably aimed at a slightly shorter, lighter person. I highly doubt when Kawasaki put this together they had me in mind. But power wise, I mean, this thing has more than enough for the road. Whatever it is, whatever it is when we stop and have a look, it is more than enough for the road. It has plenty of power. And like I said, the torque curve is also very, very nice. It's not, there's no peaks in it. It doesn't feel too sharp anywhere. The throttle is lovely, actually. That's something I will mention, because I think I mentioned it on the last two Kawasaki's, is the throttle felt a bit like an on-off switch at the very, very start, whereas this one doesn't. Like right there now from low revs, it just picks up nice and smooth. Dirty road. Lovely progressive throttle on it. There's no snap. There's no snap when you pick it up. It just looks so smooth on. But all I know is it sounds fantastic, and that throttle response is absolutely lovely. Like the front, the thing is, if you want a bike that's kind of well behaved, the front on this never feels like it wants to lift, really. You know, even if you go full on throttle, it's just like, okay, let's give him acceleration, but it's kind of delivered in a nice way. You know what I mean? It is. I have to say I am well impressed so far. Now I would like, if I was doing a full first ride review on this, I would like to spend a lot more time with it, just until I fully got used to all the, you know, the feedback of the throttle and all that stuff. But you know, so far very, very nice. Let's give it a bit here now. Out of the corner, power on, red line, and brake hard. Yeah, you can't ask for much more than that. It's well mannered. That's how I'd put it. So it's weird. It's a weirdly long gearing. I think if you wanted to, you could re-gear this bike and make it terrifying. I think if you went like 2 teeth up on the back, this bike would be scary. I think it'd be scary. So, I mean, if that's what you're into, look at that view though. Beautiful. If that's what you're into, if you want to give yourself an out fright, you could just go 2 teeth up on the back and this thing would be a monster. I really do think that. So, someone try it and let me know. You know, comfort is good, power is more than enough for the road, and very well mannered. This thing isn't going to be a bike that you take out and scare yourself on, I don't think. Unless you know, obviously if you've never ridden a bike before, then I wouldn't recommend going out in this and pulling the throttle all the way open, because then you are going to give yourself a fright. But if you're used to bikes and you want to go something for a little more powerful, this is a step up from, say, your smaller 600s and whatever else. But it's very, very well mannered, power wise, lovely. And you know, suspension, handling, braking, all very nice. Like I said, this thing, honestly, it feels like a bit of a razor blade. I'm not sure why you're slowing down so much, bud. Again, like I said about the Z1000SX, the suspension has surprised me. I was not expecting to come out here and not to be, you know, have my spine broken by a bike that was like, why are you sitting on me, you massive ape, get off. But that's not what's happened. I've come out here and the suspension is adequate, you know what I mean? It's not, it probably would be bouncy if I was pushing it. I don't know what I say if you weigh as much as me. And full disclosure, as always, I am 2 meters tall, or 6'7" ish, and I weigh about 128 kilos at the moment, and that's about 20 stone, say. So I'm not, or 70, 80 pounds. I'm not a small person, but the stock suspension, I'm assuming it's stock, we'll check again when we get off. The stock suspension is very good. This lad, what are you doing, man? The brakes are one thing, yes, I will say. I think, I mean, okay, maybe I'm just being choosy because they actually stop you. We'll come up here onto a clean bit of road, 95 kilometers an hour, and hard brakes. Okay, we're down to 30. Yeah, no, it's just me. It's just me. Those brakes are very, very good. It's entirely me. So where I would cruise at, say, on the CBF on this road is, you know, about the speed limit. We're into that corner, very nice. It's going to be very windy, so I don't know how this will sound to you all. Plenty of power for the road. Honestly, like I said before, you know, obviously it is a bit of a personal choice what people like or don't like on their bikes, but for me, that is more than enough power. Really going down through the gears is lovely. Power back on for the corner. from low. Actually, I was only about 5,000 revs. Pickup is there, it's lovely. We'll go into this one again, not leaning too much, power back on. Pickup is lovely. Onto the dry road. It just carves. The thing is like a scalpel. This is lovely. This is really, really nice. I could spend time on. Honestly, I'm not sure do I prefer this over the Z1000. I really liked that Z1000 SX. But the only thing it wasn't as scalpely as this one. And I mean, if you were to ask me which one I wanted to buy, I don't think I could answer that question right now. I'm not sure. But what do I have on the dash then? I have a nice rev counter. I'll show it to you when we stop. It's a bit different. The speed is over on the right. You can probably see that. You have your odometer. You have your time, and also on the right we have our average fuel consumption, which is 6.1 liters per 100 kilometers, which is very good. Very, very good for a small, punchy little bike like this. You'd kind of expect it to be a little more actually, probably. Well, I suppose it depends on how the people before me were riding it. I don't know, would my style of riding do that? I do. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it a lot. Now, one thing I don't like is these levers. I'm not a fan of these. I don't like the levers on it. They're chrome and shiny, and it's, I don't know. It's not something I would put on there. Oh, damn it. My spot. So I just had a quick look there. The Kawasaki Z800 is actually 113 brake horsepower, but it is 83 newton meters of torque, which they obviously tuned it for mid-range, and you can tell. Like I said, you can really tell. Nice things that I do like about this, extras wise. I'll check in a second. I should probably check is there ABS. It doesn't look like it. Usually they'd stamp it and tell you, but it does have twin 4-pot. I assume it's 4-pot, is it? Let's have a look. No, sorry, that's what it is. So it's twin 2-pot pistons on the front, so 4 pistons all together, only pushing from the outside, so the back end is just a clamp. I'll explain that in another video. I have explained in other videos, but that would explain why the brakes do feel that little bit less bitey, say, than the Z1000 SX, because it's just 2 pistons pushing from the outside on each of them. That would explain that, but still perfectly adequate brakes. It is the loop, so there's one brake line down onto the right hand caliper and then looped over to the left. You could put on race setup braided brake lines there that might help with the feel a bit, which I would do personally. If I bought this, I would do. And then the rear is just a big single piston brake. Yes, single piston brake caliper, which doesn't, it's fine. The one thing I will say is these bars are lovely. We'll get to them, but it does make pushing this a little bit hard. I would probably put an extension on that, so you could, like you can see, I'm just hitting the edge there. Which, like I said, it's fine, you can do it, but for me, if you're a bigger person with bigger feet like myself, I'd extend it out a little bit. But extras wise, it does have those lovely crash bars. It does have a full set of GB Racing crash protectors on the right, and I assume on the left. Yeah, GB Racing on the left, and the crash bars as well. Really nice actually, and they suit the bike quite a lot. It makes it look more aggressive. I had a quick look. It's actually not that light a bike. It's like 225 kg wet, so not a light bike. I mean, they're not called Kawasaki Heavy Industries for nothing. But it doesn't feel it on the road, and honestly it doesn't. It's very nimble, and like I said, I'm kind of surprised that it's as nimble as it is, even in comparison to the Z1000 SX. I actually think I'd be very interested to see them one-on-one on a track, to be honest. I wouldn't say that wouldn't win, because it's punchy out of corners and it's that little bit more nimble. The brakes would be its downfall. They'd probably cook on a track, to be honest, like the CBF's one did at the time. CBF is the same setup except 3 pistons instead of 2. What other extras then? Just to show you this dash. So I do like where the key is. It's nice and out of the way. We'll turn this on. Not really a whole pile of extras here. You have your fuel gauge, oil light, like I said, speed readout, average fuel use. You have your revs there in the middle. You have temperature, odometer, clock, indicators, obviously. Headlight over there on the right, which doesn't work till you're turned on. It has an engine warning, and then if I push this, So that's your trips. And then if I push this one, that's range, liters per 100, and average. So it has a live readout, an average readout, and it also gives you a range. So I mean, I quite like it actually. I think it's a nice bike. Simple, like a lot of the Kawasaki's I've ridden are, but simple isn't a bad thing. It's very cool looking. Very cool looking. I do like it. And the Scorpion slip-on just mucho bueno. I like that very, very, very much. I think a stubby would have looked worse on there. It makes it look kind of grown up or something with the longer can. I'm not sure how you'd describe it. Pretty certain that's the circuit can from Scorpion. Scorpion just make good stuff. I like them a lot. And I mean, this thing is clean. I don't know how much justice the cameras will do, but this bike is clean. So yeah, like engine, everything is just very, very, very nice. Frame covers. It has a data tag apparently as well. Everything is clean. Back end of the engine. This has been looked after for sure. Considering the mileage that's on it, it's definitely been kept clean. Probably only seen sunny roads, which is good. Let's have a look at it from the front. I haven't actually done that yet. I actually like that. It's weird. It's like Kawasaki's do this pinched face thing with a lot of their bikes. I'm not sure why, but it does look nice. What's this? Oh, another extra 2 USB ports. That'd be nice. And yeah, I mean, overall, it's quite a clean bike. It's fun. The stickers on the wheels, look, that's everyone's taste. I'm not sure what I do the inside of the rim, but that outside line I do like. It's quite neat. GB racing is lovely. Engine bars are lovely. And yeah, I'll just check, is it ABS, because I'm not sure. But it doesn't really matter because you can brake really hard without locking those brakes up, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, overall, from a very, very quick spin, it is a comfortable bike for a big person like myself. I do think if you wanted to be a little bit more spacious on longer rides, you probably would go for the Z1000 SX. But if you're looking for something that is, I mean, it's a street fighter. So if you're looking for something like that, that's just an aggressive street fighter-y bike for shorter spins, I would pick that over the Z1000 SX, I think, because it's just that bit more nimble, it's that bit more punchy. It's a really nice bike, to be honest. And yeah, I like it. I like every bike ever, but this one is a fine bike. It's very nice. It's very nice. If you want this, it is for sale in Freeman's. I'll put the price up on screen now because I didn't ask. I never do. I always forget. If you're interested in something that is street fightery, I mean, to be honest, this is a perfect bike for Ireland, because we don't like long spins in Ireland. They're not really long, you know what I mean? This is perfect for the day trip. You probably can get luggage for it, I'm not sure, but even a backpack and a day trip, this is a lovely bike. And it has all that engine protection, so if you're off down muddy roads and stuff and you give it a little drop, you know, you don't have to worry about the big things. The engine bars will save it, and under the engine bars you have the engine protection, which is just kind of really nice. You know, the exhaust is already there, but I like it. I'm not going to go through all the details and stuff because, like I said, this isn't a full first ride review, but I do like it. It's a comfy bike for the size of it, which I was not expecting. I said it immediately when we left the dealership that I was not expecting it to be as comfortable, to be comfortable, and I'm wrong. You know what I mean? I'm wrong, and I'll show you why I admit to being wrong, and I apologize, Kawasaki. My legs actually fit into this groove, which is for legs, really, really nicely, and these are always a risk, because if you have someone who's tall and if you've longer legs than me, and I have a 35-inch inseam, but if you've longer legs than me and you were up, you know, on this ridge a bit, this would be miserable. You couldn't ride this bike. You'd just be miserable. It'd just be horribly uncomfortable all of the time. So you couldn't do it. But I fit here, and they've left. So if you have a smaller leg, you'd be down here, and if you have a bigger leg, you're up where I am up here, which actually kind of plays into the larger person a bit, because when we brake, our legs are already there in the clamp position. Whereas if you're a bit shorter, whatever, thinner legs, you will have that little bit of slide. But also, I'm not sure if this is the original seat. It has this grippy bit in the middle. It's very nice. Wouldn't be great for sliding around at a track, say, but for the road, it's perfect. It's perfect. It does have that little belly pan as well. That's definitely not stock. And I actually looked at the stock images there a few minutes ago, and I think the belly pan makes it look very nice. It kind of fills out the bottom a bit. Before that, it looks like it's missing a lower jaw or something, but the belly pan adds to it a lot. I do think though, probably what I would advise if you're like a couple of inches shorter, maybe 6'2", 6'3", perfect. But it handles a bigger person absolutely fine, and that shock does look stock. It doesn't look like a new one. So, I mean, from stock, these handle bigger humans just fine, which is really, really nice, because a lot of bikes don't do that. So well done Kawasaki. If you have watched, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of this bike down in the comments, as a quick spin. But yeah, let me know what you think of the bike down in the comments. I like the colour, actually forgot to mention that. I do like the colour. Not sure what I think of the wheel stickers. Yeah, they're question mark over them. I do like the outside of the rim tape. Maybe not with the Kawasaki. If it was just clean white, I'd probably prefer it. But overall, it is a very nice motor bicycle. Yeah, alright, well, if you watched, thank you very much for watching. As always, a very special thank you to all of my patrons, and a very special thank you to Freeman Motorcycles for trusting me to take out their motor bicycle and have a look at it. If you want to have a look at this bike or buy it, send Freeman's a message on Instagram or something, or ring them and ask for Toddy. Tell him I sent you, so he might be slightly less mean than he usually is. I'm only joking. Toddy's always lovely. he might be extra friendly if you say I sent you. And yeah, until next time, thank you very much for watching. Adios. Outro crew. What do you think of this bike? Would you have thought I would have been comfortable on this? I will freely admit I did not expect to be comfortable on this bike. But you know, 4-cylinder 800, you can't really go wrong. 4-cylinder 800, aggressive street fightery style. It's fun. It's very, very fun. But yeah, let me know what you think. Did you think when you saw me sit up onto this thing that I was going to be comfortable? Not enjoy it, because I enjoy every bike ever, but be comfortable. Let me know.